since we're talking about the Pac-12, I can't get through without saying one thing that's stupid about the Pac-12. I understand the TV purposes, but
you don't like it? You don't like
9
breakfast
a.m.
ball?
kickoffs? Like,
Gosh.
I'm already, I don't know what the totals are, but I'm already on the unders for the 9 a.m. games. But like, what the hell? Like, yeah, I get that TV wants it and you're doing it to make sure your games are on like the major networks and not on the Pac-12 network and everybody can see them and you get the exposure. But a 9 a.m. kick can't be good for anybody.
You have to get them out of bed. 5 a.m. Right? I mean, 4 hours before is typically when they want you to start moving around. Like if you have a noon game, you're gonna make sure you're up at 8, right? And most guys would sleep in until 9 or 10 if they could. When you're in college, you sleep in. You are not physically ready to execute and get ready for the type of alertness and mentality that you're going to have to get. So I totally agree with you, Tom. I thought it was a bad idea from the start. I get trying to capture some eyeballs. I don't love staying up for the Pac-12 after dark from some that selfishly. Yeah, give me more Pac-12 football earlier in the day, but it's going to put forth a horrible product, I think.
I played noon kicks all my career. And going from high school where every game's a 7:30 kick, like at night, like it's totally different. Like you're juiced for that 7:30 kick. For the noon kick, like you're just like you're still waking up. Like you aren't, but in warm-ups you are just sort of kind of, hey, like I gotta get my mind right here. We got a game coming up, and these guys are gonna have to get up at 5 a.m., 4:30. It's ridiculous. And all just to get a couple more eyeballs on them. Like it just reeks of like desperation. Like they see the big noon kick for the Big Ten or whatever. And they're like, oh, what a success. And it's like, no, that's not, you don't get it. Like these kids are getting up 4 hours later than you. Like,
when the last time I played at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning was sophomore year of high school, because that's who plays at 9 a.m. on Saturday, the freshman and sophomore JV teams.
I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So we would have noon kickoffs, that ACC Jefferson Pilot game of the week or whatever. Like it was like the 4th or 5th tier game in the ACC early in the season. So we would go out to Thomasville, Georgia the night before game. It was about an hour, 45 minutes from Tallahassee. That's where we went. And then we would bus in. Well, the buses, you would have a couple big ones. And then when you got a little bit older, you kind of had some status. So you could go with about 8 guys and you'd have a smaller kind of van of guys you would go with.
Well, you got the personal bus?
Yeah.
The
a nice little person. Well, so then also part of it was you had your own music, right? So you'd like, if it was a primetime game, you'd be riding back like at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. You're listening to music the whole time. You're getting fired up. You're driving through campus. You're like, you're just amped. You're amped. For noon games, you're driving back like everyone is sleeping for 40 minutes of the drive and they're kind of groggy still. Then you put on the music because you have to get you woken up, but you're still kind of groggy. Now put that back 3 or 4 hours earlier. I think it's going to be an awful idea. I think it's going to be a horrible product.
Well, you say the Jefferson Pilot game of the week or whatever, like everybody, we've all, I mean, I don't know how many Danny's watched because Jefferson Pilot may have been extinct by the time you were done playing, but we've all watched the 11 a.m. Central Time kick in the stadium. That's just the fans
are still mulling in,
trickling in, and one of the teams is favored by 25 points, and they don't really wake up until the second half, and then it's always the game where the underdog keeps it close, but they cover. I know because Vanderbilt is playing all those games, and that's the team in Nashville. And it's just people fall into like the Vandy Dudley Field trap of just not really showing up until the second half, and that's what all those games are going to be. So I don't know. Maybe this is too much of a rant on 9 a.m. kicks, but it just seems desperate.
Dogs and unders. Just
when I was coaching my 4th and 5th grade YMCA basketball team for those 9 a.m. tip-offs.
Tough.
I mean, it was important to bring the juice and Krispy Kreme donuts and lots of sugar. Like when I imagine these 9 a.m. kickoffs, I'm thinking about youth soccer, like all the dads like standing, like huddled up. It's really cold outside and they got their coffees and they're just grumbling about how hard it was to get the jersey on their kid and get out the door on time. Like
this sport's stupid anyway. Why are we here?
I want to see nothing but like family, and I want to see all the dads huddled up with their coffees on the sideline for these 9 a.m. kickoffs. I'm into it from the perspective that we threw against the wall back in July, where you said, look, if we're even going to be able to have a season, let's get weird. And this is weird. This is strange. Let's see what happens.